Today I want to discuss about how to get started with $1 million SaaS without leaving your 9 to 5 job. So I have made some notes. I will be referring to these notes here so that I can better present you with all the points. So let's get started. So it sucks when you are stuck in a 9 to 5 job and you don't know what to do next. It sucks more even when you know you want to start $1 million SaaS and yet you are stuck with a programming job. So before 1999, Mark Benioff was just stuck in that same situation in which most of the programmers are. Although he was not working as a programmer at Oracle, but mostly his struggles was no idea what to do next in his career, either to join a new company or get started with his own company. Still, somehow later during the journey, he managed to quit his job and get started with a company called Salesforce, and he was able to scale that company revenue from $0 to billions of dollars. So today I want to give you some of my experience with building a SaaS. Although I have not built a SaaS as such and I have failed a couple of times, so I will be sharing with you that experience along with Mark's, what things Mark did and what strategies I used so I failed and he succeeded. So let's get started with this. So first is, don't quit your job, do this instead. When we developer discover a SaaS idea, what we generally do is we read it about it on internet and then we get overly excited. This excitement forces us to quit our job and start building the product. We invest 6 months to 8 months building the product. As we have experience writing the code, we want to write the perfect code from the start. We want to do everything, every little bit or little detail perfectly. So what happens is when 8 months have passed, we release our product and we discover that no one is buying our product. Why will anyone buy your product? Because no one knows you. There are various problems with all these steps we took. So when you quit your job without validating the idea, you put yourself in a difficult situation. If by any chance it takes longer time to generate the revenue, it will put a lot of financial pressure on you. So Mark Benioff, the founder of Salesforce, was in similar situation. He was about to start Salesforce. He has worked with Oracle for 10 years. He had become a corporate lifer. He knew he had to change something. In his book he mentions, I had been there for 10 years and was becoming something I never expected, a corporate lifer. So what he did was he took a sabbatical. I have discussed this sabbatical point in a detail in another video, but today I just want to go through it briefly. So first will be, Mark wanted to change something in his life, but he was confused about what kind of change he wanted. He struggled to make a choice between leaving his company, launching a new company, or taking Oracle to a new direction. Obviously, if you are working for some company as a programmer or even in senior management, you generally, if you want to do something else with your career, generally these are the three struggles everybody has: either to join a new company, either to get started with something on your own, or take another role in this company and take this company to a new direction. So in the middle of the chaos, he decided to take a sabbatical. So during his sabbatical, he met his friend Terry, who encouraged him to start something of his own. So definitely, if you see the other video on my channel, I have referred everything in detail regarding the sabbatical. Mark also traveled to India, where he met various spiritual leaders. He met Sri Ravi Shankar. He met the hugging saint, inspired him to embrace the concept of giving back to the world alongside his career. So in his book he also mentions, my sabbatical was one of the most productive period of my career. So even though he was on sabbatical, he told in his book that his sabbatical was one of the most productive thing in his career. So that is why it is very important to take it. So what can we learn from this? So not every developer can travel to India, of course, but not every company is also going to sponsor your trip to different countries. But attaining peace of mind is something we can do by visiting a nearby city, even if it's just 50 miles away. So if you are thinking of building a business or doing something of your own, start by taking a sabbatical. It will cool your mind. You will be able to think about the situation in detail. So let's jump to the second point. Having a big dream is not something you want to do. You must have heard this advice, said dream big and everything will fall into your place. So I think it's a useless advice. My problem with dream big advice is it forces you to become a massive procrastinator. So this has happened with me already. So when I started writing online, my goal was to build an email list of 50,000 people to help them create $1 million SaaS. So but what really happened after around 1.5 years, I have 1,500 people on my email list. So my mistake was I only dreamt big and I hated my mini failure. So when my content that I was writing didn't get views, I got frustrated and delayed writing the next piece. So I spent many days without taking action because I was busy thinking about my big dream. I was looking for people who had same goals like me. I used to read content and think about how I was going to achieve my big goal. So I kept adjusting my plans. I thought I was being productive by thinking about my goals, but in reality I was procrastinating. So I wish someone has given me this advice when I was starting out. Have a big dream, but don't just keep thinking about it. Take small steps daily, even if you see many failures. So what was Mark's big dream was, till 1999 traditional software companies used to distribute software with CD-ROM. Mark wanted to make it easy for companies to buy, purchase, use and maintain their software. He wanted to use internet for software delivery. In simple words, he was the first man who wanted to start a SaaS company at that time. So it was a big dream, obviously. No company has thought about doing anything related to SaaS in 1999. He wanted to use cloud computing to deliver software. Today this model is everywhere. Every company delivers software via cloud only. But at that time it was a new idea and it was quite a bold decision to think about delivering the software through cloud. So he wanted to make it easy for companies to update their softwares because updating the software was a struggle in case of a CD-ROM era. So you need to request, or the companies will send you another CD to just install the new version of the software. So he, even if his dream was big, he was not only thinking about his big dream, just like I was doing it. I just kept dreaming big, but I was also secretly procrastinating. But he was thinking about big dreams, but he was also taking small action toward it. To make his dream, he knew he had to keep moving forward with his dream. If he was like me, he would have kept dreaming about it. He would have spent all the times reading articles just like I did, and he would have imagined the future and kept thinking how he was going to implement the new idea. He did the complete opposite. First he talked to his friend Sybil, who ran a company called Sybil Systems. Tom appreciated his idea and asked him to join Sybil System, but he failed to understand the big picture. In his book he mentions, I had a number of conversations with Tom Sybil about creating an online CRM product. Mark declined his offer because he wanted his friend Tom Sybil, he wanted to join him, offer him, Mark, a new role inside his big corporation, but Mark wanted something big out of it. So what he learn from this? He kept moving forward. In the beginning, when he faced challenges, he didn't quit. He didn't continue dreaming and using it as a means to procrastinate. Instead, he talked to people and hired first few employees. If you have taken a sabbatical, definitely enjoy your time, but don't spend it entirely scrolling through the social media. Think about your big dream and what steps you are going to take to move forward. Definitely you have to keep moving forward. Otherwise, what is the purpose of the sabbatical if you just keep reading about new ideas, only reading about new ideas? Once you have made up your mind what things you are going to build, so definitely you try to build something out of that thinking. So become biased towards action. Don't spend all your time dreaming about your big idea and do something about it. So the third and the last point I want to cover is your unfair advantage is to prioritize what's important. I wish someone has given me this advice as a 20-year-old programmer. When I got an idea to create an Android app reading an article, I told my idea to a friend. He liked it. The idea was to create an application like Amazon for local businesses. I spent my first month collecting the features of the app. I read articles how to build an Android online store. So next month I designed full prototype in Adobe XD. It would not have taken me a month to design the prototype, but I was trying to create the perfect prototype. I was also doing course on the side how to build a perfect prototype on XD. I spent over $500 to purchase premium courses from creators on YouTube. I skipped all my goals at that time, skipped everything. So now not only I spent a month and two just learning Adobe XD, I was also trying to build the perfect app from the start. As a new programmer, I had idea about HTML, CSS and JavaScript. But to create this new application for Android, I needed to learn Java also. So I tried to learn Java and I tried to learn entire Java. I wanted to learn entire Java. Java is so big, you can't just get it done in 3 months or 6 months also. So there are programmers who have spent their life just learning Java, and I wanted to do it in 2 to 3 months. I spent 2 months learning Java. So what did I discover after creating the app? Definitely after around 2 to 3 months I created my app. So I started building my mini Amazon, used Firebase to manage Gmail login and other database related thing. I had limited knowledge of Firebase. Obviously I was not the expert guy. I had invested around 3 to 5 months, you can say, so just to build the product. After building my product with a poor code, I found the application could have been built with a decent knowledge of Java. So how many install I got? So around 10 installs in 2 months. No one was using it. I had no knowledge of marketing. I just announced it on WhatsApp and some of my friends downloaded it. So I have 0 followers on Twitter and and around 20 connection on LinkedIn. I had around 50 followers on Quora. Due to this, no one was willing to download it because I had not figured out how to distribute the product. Distribution is a key strategy if you are going to build a product and want people to use it. Since I didn't invest my time bringing local businesses to my platform, my app ended being worthless and my friends uninstalled it after a few days. Definitely when you launch some product, your friends and families will encourage you to install your product. But if it is not helping them, what is the use of building a product, or what is the use of them keeping it? Is similar to a YouTube video. If you create a YouTube video for, say, content creator, but if you are sharing with your parents and friends, they will watch the video, but is it helping them? Since you have created the video for the content creators, they are not the content creators, so what is the use of them installing that? It will be a better strategy if you don't actually tell your parents or friends about your video. Just let it sit, just let see yourself if the content creators are watching the video, why you are trying to push the video to the wrong audience. So definitely it was just like that. So don't do things like me, do things like Mark. While creating my first version of the app, I focused on creating the entire app. I thought my user would need all the features. Initially, your user don't need all the features, they just want to use a couple of your products, a couple of your features. So Mark wasn't like me. He had did a job for Oracle for 10 years and he understood that when you start making something, you should really pay attention to the important stuff. So the entire team, he hired a small team, so they built the prototype in just 1 month. Compared it to me, I invested 6 months just to build a Android app, which was not at all perfect, but I tried to perfect it, so it was a mess. This developer already knew about Salesforce automation. He hired them smartly. He only hired people who had prior experience with Salesforce automation. So in his book he mentions, we built the first prototype within a month. It didn't take very long because developers knew Salesforce automation from their previous experiences. The team goal was to make the interface simple. On the other hand, if you saw my product, my Android app, it has all the features which was not needed. It had around 10-20 features, but the use was only for one feature. So definitely you try to build something very simple. So Mark and his team built only what was necessary. They focused on 20% that would bring 80% of the difference. So what could we learn from this? So if you want to start with an audience, you should focus on creating high quality content in your niche and growing an email list. Don't waste time creating general content like 10 Chrome extension everyone needs. If you want to start directly with a product, you should focus on finding the most important feature and developing them. Your main focus should be only developing the 20% of the feature which will have 80% of the difference. Don't do it like me. Just don't waste time creating an app that will be used by everyone and that has all the features. So your main focus should be on building just the 20% of the features, and you will know this by talking to your customers. So definitely this was for today. If you want, you can join the newsletter. I have attached it to the description, and do subscribe to the channel. I will be uploading more videos like this.